Hi, Michael here for another episode of Cuppa Talks. Today I want to talk about a subject that you see all over the internet, various memes and various things, and especially a lot of misinformation. And the subject is binaural beats. And we see all kinds of stuff, especially on Facebook, in all the different gong and sound groups and people talking about binaural beats. And a lot of these people have no idea what they're talking about because they learned about it from maybe some sort of a meme they saw on the internet. So I want to clear up any sort of confusion about binaural beats. So what is a binaural beat? It's sort of a ghost note, a ghost tone, where one ear hears one frequency, another ear hears a different frequency, and it creates a third tone in your brain. For example, if my left ear was hearing 405 hertz, and then a tone in my right ear, 415 hertz, the beat frequency would be the difference between those, which is 10 hertz. Now, to be really effective as a beat, binaural beat, we should define binaural. Binaural just means two ears. As a species, we are binaural because we have two ears and we hear in stereo. So that's all binaural means, is two ears. To really hear binaural beats the way they are designed, you need to have headphones because you need to isolate each ear. So again, if I was playing 405 hertz through this side of the headphones, only my left ear would hear 405 hertz. Now if I played 415 hertz through the right speaker of the headphone, only my right ear will hear that tone. And thus, my brain is creating that third sort of phantom tone between the two. So actual real binaural beats pretty much have to be done with headphones. And if you buy some sort of a binaural beat program, generally they are using tones generated with a sine wave, which is your nice rounded wave. So it's not just like they're playing a guitar or piano or something to generate it. It's just an electronically generated sine wave. So that's important to understand about what binaural beats are. And you really have to isolate the ears to get the true binaural beat effect. Okay? That's important because if I take off my headphones and I use two loudspeakers, let's say I play 405 hertz in the speaker over here, I'm also going to hear that in my right ear. The left ear will hear it louder and more direct, but the sound will move around my head and I will hear it in this ear. Same thing, if I play 415 hertz in a speaker over here, yes, my right ear is going to hear it first and hear it more direct, but the sound is going to go around my head and I'm going to hear a delayed sound in my left ear. So I'm not getting that true binaural effect. But let's look at some sources that define binaural beats. First I'd like to look at is Psychology Today. Now they define binaural beats as when two tones of slightly different frequencies are played in separate ears simultaneously, usually through headphones, the human brain perceives the creation of a new third tone whose frequency is equivalent to the difference between the two tones being played. This auditory illusion is called a binaural beat. This is from the American Academy of Audiology. When you present one tone to one ear and a second to the other ear, your brain perceives an additional tone. This is the essence of binaural beats. Binaural beats work where each ear is transmitting one frequency to the central auditory pathway. And again, we get that phantom tone when we have one tone in one ear, one tone in the other ear. Now, a little history on binaural beats. This comes from a website called Very Well Mine. It says, binaural beats were discovered by Heinrich Wilhelm Dove, a meteorologist in the mid-19th century. Over a century later, Dr. Gerald Oster published the first scientific study on them in 1973. So we've known about binaural beats for well over 100 years, and a little over 50 years since the first scientific paper was published. But that's what binaural beats are. Generally headphones, and you put in two different tones, and you perceive a third tone. Now, is that good for you? Well, there is scientific evidence that it can help you relax, can help you chill out, it can help you possibly reach a deeper state, like a theta or delta state. So there is scientific work on that yes, binaural beats can help you. But what about if I'm playing my gongs or my singing bowls and I hear these really cool patterns? Are those really binaural beats? No, they're not. They're just beat patterns. And I'll demonstrate that in a minute. But first, I'm sure a lot of you out there have maybe played guitar or some other stringed instrument. And especially with guitar, you use beat pattern to tune it up. So you've got your one string, and you put your finger on the string you're tuning up, and you go bing, 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 and as you tune it up, you hear those beats. And when the beats disappear, your strings are in tune. They are even. So that is just a beat pattern. It's not binaural beats. Yes, we are hearing it with both ears, but it's not technically binaural beats. It's just a beat pattern produced by two strings vibrating close together. So let's look at these two gongs I have behind me. I have over here, I have my Peisty 24-inch Sound Creation water gong, and over here, my Peisty 22-inch accent gong. I've had both of these for 25 years. They're both an A2. This is, I believe it's 109.6 hertz, and this one is about 107.2 hertz. So they're very close. They're a little over 2 hertz apart. And they create this really wonderful wah-wah sort of a sound. And that's one reason I picked them out, and one reason I really love these two gongs. They're two of my favorite gongs, besides that they have a great sound. Now, while the notes are almost the same, they have a very different timbre because of the design of the gong. But I'll play them. I'll play the water gong first, and then I'll play the accent gong, and listen to how it brings in this lovely, lovely beat pattern. Yeah, do you hear that? It's a very strong wah, 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 wah sort of a thing. Let me do that once again. I really love that effect, but it's not a binaural beat. It is just a beat pattern. Now it is possible to get beats off of a single instrument. I don't know if we can hear it, but the accent gong actually has a slight beat pattern to it. You can kind of hear it waver in there. So it's possible to have an instrument like a bowl, a bell, or a gong that does have beat patterns unto itself. Like I have, it's out of the picture here, but I do have my 28-inch Atlantis gong. You can hear that. And I have various bells. Let me grab a small mallet here. That will have very quick beat patterns. So again, those are beat patterns. You can get them on bowls, bells, and gongs, and then you can get usually bigger, wider beat patterns using two instruments. And it's even possible to use a gong and a bowl and get a beat pattern, a gong and a bell, a bowl and a bell, and that. But usually it works best with similar instruments that are really close in frequency. Okay? So once again, binaural beats is generally each ear isolated, two different tones that are close to each other, played in one ear, one in the other. Your brain derives a phantom third tone, which is the difference between the two. Playing two different instruments, getting that wah-wah sort of sound, that is just a beat pattern. It is not binaural beats. It's lovely, it's wonderful. I mean, I love it. It's one of my favorite sounds, favorite effects to play, but it is not a binaural beat. Okay? I hope that helps clear up this thing, because a lot of people misuse the term binaural beats, or they just throw it out there because, again, they saw it on a meme and it's like, well, yeah, I'm going to use this because it sounds good. Look things up. All I had to do was go on the internet and type in binaural beats, and I got articles from reputable sources like Psychology Today, the American Audiology Association, and I found all kinds of other things on binaural beats. Do some research, people. When you come across things like this, go on the internet, because there is so much information available at our fingertips. Unfortunately, we have to really figure out what's true or not, because there is a lot of BS out there. But find reliable sources like Psychology Today, very reliable magazine. It's been around for ages. Scientific magazine, American Audiology Association. I mean, these are the people who know about ears. So look up your sources. Look for corroborating evidence. So basically, the two main things I pointed out today, to the two articles, they said the exact same thing as far as the definition of binaural beats. Okay? Binaural beats and beats, two completely different sounds, different ideas, different effects. All right, thanks for coming to today's Cuppa Talks. We'll see you next time.